MLB trade deadline is just a few short days away, and the Pittsburgh Pirates find themselves in a very peculiar position. Will Ben Cherington be allowed to trade these major assets like Mitch Keller and David Bednar with years left of control? Or will he only be tied to the rentals like IKF, Andrew Heaney, and Tommy Pham? In today's video, Jim and I decided to take a look back at every single notable trade that Ben Cherington has made in his tenure and are going to try to decide if Ben Cherington is the guy to do this. The way we did this was making a tier list. Yes, these grades will be letters A all the way to F, being they are trash trades, and let me just say, there's a lot of ones that are down in that category. So make sure to enjoy the video, leave a like on the video as well, subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it. Okay, starting things off with our first trade to grade, it is Starling Marte to the Diamondbacks for Liover Peguero and Brennan Malone. Jim, I'll start with you. What are you ranking this?
This is about as bad as it gets. This was Ben's first trade?
It was Ben's first trade.
I mean, you look at what he gave up. Starling Marte since then has put up about 10 WAR. The players he got in return have not put up any WAR. So I'm going to grade this one just a straight up F. I mean, this was an awful trade. I mean, Starling Marte was coming off a 3.7 win season. He was Ben's best trade chip that he inherited, and he kicked off his tenure with a complete disaster of a trade.
Yeah. I was leaning like D just because Peguero at least made the big leagues, but the problem is with him, every time he's come up, he just sits on the bench and we can't see a sample size. And where on earth is Brennan Malone at right now? He's just kind of disappeared. If we want to settle on F, I'm fine with F. We want to do that?
This is about as bad as it gets, especially when you consider the returns that Arizona got for Marte. The return that, Marte was then traded multiple times after this, and every time he was traded after this, it was for a better return.
Yeah, let's settle on F there. Moving on. This was the Christmas Eve trade. Josh Bell to the Nationals for Will Crow and Eddie Yeen.
Josh Bell didn't have very much trade value at this point, but that also played into this. Like, Ben traded him at his lowest possible value, and then he immediately went on to put up back-to-back 2+ WAR seasons when the Pirates could have used some first baseman or traded him, the year after. I'm also giving this one an F. I mean, this was this again. Like, these were the start of his. This was the start of Ben's tenure, and both of these were disasters in my opinion.
That's fair. I was gonna go D as well, but after hearing your discussion there, I am gonna go with F as well, just because he did trade him at his lowest value. And it's funny, Eddie Yeen seems to be finally getting some status to him, so maybe if he eventually shows up, we put this in D. But yeah, let's settle on F. Moving on, this was a bigger return. 4 players in return. Jameson Taillon to the New York Yankees, one of many Yankees trades here today, for Roansy Contreras, Michael Escoto, Kanan Smith and Jigba, and Miguel Yahoo Ray. Love it.
I'll give him. I mean, at least Roansy put up a positive WAR while he was here. Taillon was coming off his second surgery. I'm gonna put this one at I guess I'll put this one at a C, just because Taillon was going into, I think he had 2 more years left on his deal, and you weren't really sure what was going to happen there. And they did at least get something positive for him, but that was it. I mean, C at best.
I'll cap it out at C. Smith and Jigba's turned into a what if now. He's not even in the organization anymore. A lot of people wanted to see him. Roansy Contreras, I remember the Happy Roansy Day on Twitter. That died off really quick. Escoto's still in the system, and Yahoo Ray's long gone. Taillon as well, not on the Yankees anymore, so that kind of helps this, but I'll cap it off at C. Moving on to a 3-team deal with the Padres and Mets. This will probably be one of our only positive ones in today's episode. The Pirates acquired multiple players, being Endy Rodriguez, David Bednar, Hudson Head, Drake Fellows, and Omar Cruz. The Mets got Joey Lucchesi, and the Padres get Joe Musgrove. What are we thinking about this one?
Yeah, I mean, you got what multi-time All-Star David Bednar in return here. Endy Rodriguez, we still don't really know exactly what he's going to end up being, but you gave up a pretty good starting pitcher for that. I'll give this one, I guess, a C, just because Bednar turned out to be really good, but like Musgrove, like, no one else has panned out from this trade, and Musgrove has been good ever since then. He's been injured, but he's been good.
Didn't Musgrove throw the first Padres no-hitter that year too?
It was either that year or the year after. I think it was that year though.
So you're going C. I might go B, like low B, whenever we look at this tier list, just because they got a multi-time All-Star reliever that maybe they can flip at the deadline. That would probably grade this weirder. I don't know if we want to meet in the middle. I don't know how we want to do this. So I'm at a B. You're at a C. What are we thinking?
I mean, if we want to go B, we can go B.
It's very close.
Getting only a relief pitcher out of a starting pitcher with multiple years of control just doesn't really move the needle for me. I love Bednar, great return, like great guy, great pitcher to have on your team, but like you gave up seemingly 7 WAR of Joe Musgrove for that.
See, then I look at the one we just did though. We gave Contreras a C.
Maybe that one should be a D and this should be a C. This one's better than that one.
Let's do that. Let's put Taillon in D, and we'll put this
Taillon
3-team deal in C.
I like that. I feel good with that.
Adam Frazier to the Padres for the infamous Tucupita Marcano, Mitchell Milano, and good old Jack Sawinski. What do we think?
I'll give this one another B, just because like Frazier, he traded Frazier at his peak value. He never really was what he was at that time of the trade after that. And they did get something out of Jack Sawinski. So like, I think you got to at least acknowledge, hey, 2023 Jack Sawinski provided 2.6 WAR, gave them 26 homers. I'll give this a B. I mean, Adam Frazier for that doesn't really seem that bad.
That's fair. I mean, you had like you said, they got like a 26 home run season out of Jack Sawinski. We probably sadly won't see that ever again. And then the other guy they got is banned for life now in Tucupita Marcano. And
I like to call him Tuke.
Yeah, Tuke. And then Adam Frazier did end up coming back to the Pirates. So I guess it full circle. I'll go B as well. Moving on, this one sucks. Clay Holmes to the Yankees for Hoy Park and Diego Castillo. I will say Diego Castillo's walk-up song was awesome. Literally had his name in it. But, like, I'll just say this is like, I'm going F.
This is an F. I mean, Clay Holmes made multiple All-Star games after this trade, and the Pirates, got nothing.
I will say Clay Holmes as a Pirate at times was frustrating, but just looking at what he's become makes it even more frustrating. Especially since he's making starting pitcher money now with the New York Mets. Jacob Stallings to the Marlins for Zach Thompson, Kyle Nicholas, and Connor Stott. Kyle Nicholas is the only guy, well, him and Thompson, you could say, but you could say it was basically Kyle Nicholas became the best guy in this deal.
Yeah, I mean, Stallings was coming off of a 3-win season, a Gold Glove winning year, and like, I mean, this was the opposite of the Josh Bell trade, right? Where like Stallings is at his peak value. Now Stallings after this kind of tanked, but I feel like you could have gotten more for Stallings than this. But I'll give this a C as well.
Yeah. We're loading up the C category right now. I'm going to go with
C's.
C there. See, like that isn't even good enough to hit B. Like that just shows how bad this has all been.
If this that one could be a B though, just because of, I guess, if you want to count Nicholas like still being there and the potential that he has, I could be talked into that being a B. But I mean, Stallings was coming off a really good year.
We could put this in high C, and then the chat down below could say put it in B. as we go on in Kyle Nicholas's career. But he's been up and down in his major league career so far. Like last season, Kyle Nicholas looked pretty solid towards the end, and then the start of this major league season, he's not looked as good. And he's still in AAA, so we'll see how that one goes. This one is this next one here. Daniel Vogelbach, a player for Colin Holderman. I think this one is a weird one, and I'll just give my reasoning really quick. I'll put it in. It's low C, high D. I'm stuck between it because the thing is, Daniel Vogelbach's now on the coaching staff, so it is a full circle trade. I want to go C because most of the time Holderman has been good. Most of the time he's been serviceable. This year, we've seen the most awful version of Colin Holderman where it's like, oh, here he comes. But like last year, the first half, he was pitching like an all-star, and then it just fell off. So like his first year and a half as a Pirate was good, and then his last year and a half as a Pirate has been pretty bad. So I don't know where are you thinking with this one before like we kind of said it. Like this is a weird one.
Yeah. Daniel Vogelbach, I think people forget about like how good of a hitter he actually was. But I mean, out of all of the free agent signings that we've had to play first base, like Vogelbach was the best one. I mean, he had a 115 weighted runs created plus before getting traded to the Mets. Then he had a 142 weighted runs created plus with the Mets. That was also a deal that came with an option on it. So the Mets picked that up, and then he gave him a 108 weighted runs created plus the next season. So like you're looking at a guy who hit during this deal while the Pirates were trying to find first baseman all this time. Holderman, the stuff's great. He's had his ups. He's had obviously his downs. I guess I'll give this a C.
That's where I'm thinking too.
And there's a lot of C's here, but it's like, it's one of those trades where like it didn't really help you. It didn't really hurt you.
Jose Quintana to the Cardinals for Chris Stratton, Johan Oviedo, and Malcolm Nunez. Oviedo is probably the prize of this deal. He's been injured a lot. I mean, I like what I've seen of Oviedo. Malcolm Nunez still in the system. I might go B. It's very.
I go
close,
B.
though.
B
Yeah.
at a minimum here. I think you could even lean A, but I think B's solid. I mean, they found a starting pitcher who gave him 177 innings in 2023 for 2 months of Jose Quintana. So, and he's working his way back. So I'll give this one a B. I like Oviedo.
Okay, that's a good one there. So that's one of our higher ones. That might be the best one we have on this list so far, besides the Frazier for Jack, I would say. This next one I actually kind of liked. Kevin Newman to the Reds for Dari Moreta. Big bank.
I'll give
another
that one
injured pitcher.
Yeah, I'll give that one a B. I mean, Newman didn't have a ton of value, and they got a useful reliever in return.
I'm going to go with that as well. This next one I also liked. Nick Garcia to the Rockies for Connor Joe. He was serviceable. I mean,
yeah, I'll go B there too.
Robert Stephenson to the Rays for Alika Williams. I'm going D.
D's being generous, but yeah, we can go D.
You want to go F?
That was an awful trade. I hated it at the time. D at best.
Okay, we'll go D. Next, Carlos Santana to the Brewers for Johnny Severino.
It's hard to grade this one with Severino still being so far away. I do like Severino. I think he's got some gaps in his game, but you probably could have gotten more than that. Maybe I'll still put this in the C category just because I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I thought Carlos Santana could have got a lot more. The fact Vogelbach at the time had got a serviceable player compared to Carlos Santana, kind of weird. This next one, though, probably one of Ben's best trades. Probably know where I'm going with this. Rodolfo Castro to the Phillies. This one came out of nowhere for Bailey Falter. Is this our first A, or is it not good enough still?
I'm going to put this one in the...
Do we want to
I
give
mean, you're
Ben
still
some
looking at
benefit
a
of the
guy
doubt?
like, I mean, Falter's been a pretty decent back end starter, but I mean, since the trade, you're still looking at 1.9 WAR. Like, can you really put that in A category? Like, the Pirates definitely won this trade, but I'd put this more in a B.
Is this probably the highest one in B?
This is probably the highest one in B.
This next one, a couple quick ones here. Rich Hill and G-Man Choi to the Padres for Jackson Wolf, Alfonso Rivas, and Estor Suero. A weird one.
Yeah, they got a lot in this one. And honestly, Rivas is a guy who you probably could have gotten away with keeping him a little bit. But I'll go C on this one just because Suero still has a little bit of upside.
Okay, we'll go C. Hedges to the Rangers for international cash.
A.
A plus.
That's the A. Yep.
This is our first A on the list, maybe only one. Austin Strickland to the Giants for Joey Bart. This is how are we grading this?
I'm gonna say this is a B. The Pirates were in desperate need of a catcher last year, and they got Bart for. I mean, it's not like Austin Strickland is doing anything. He hasn't made it above high A ball. I'll give this a B. One of his better trades. I mean, Bart. We're not happy with Bart right now, but he's on the team.
Yeah, I'm fine with B. Based off how he's playing this year, it's a very low C, but I'll stick it in B, just because he got the best out of Bart's entire career, and now it seems like he's gone back to his career normals. Moving on to a very infamous trade deadline week. This was probably Ben's first time as a buyer for the Pirates, and it's probably his last. Quinn Priester to the Red Sox for Nick York. We've seen Quinn Priester a lot in the news lately. Yeah, he was traded to the Brewers from the Red Sox, though, so what do we think about Quinn?
You know, at the time of the trade, I didn't think it was that bad. But then you look and see what Boston got for him, and then what he's doing this year in Milwaukee, and it stings a little. And York hasn't made the majors yet this year. They haven't played him at all. I'm gonna put this one at a like right now. This is a D. I'm gonna put it, but like this could change. Like depending on what York does, it could change. But like Nick York hasn't made the team yet, and we're 22 games under 500.
Moving on, Patrick Riley, prospect for Billy Cook.
D.
Yeah, I don't like what I've seen about Billy Cook so far. I think we can kind of agree on that.
Hasn't even been playing like it. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. The infamous Charles McAdoo to the Blue Jays, a fan favorite for IKF.
I like this trade. And like I said, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is a player I like having on my team. I don't think he's being used right, but I mean, I'm going to give this a solid B.
I was going to say, does that have a chance to push A?
I don't think it has a chance to push A, but I think this is a solid B.
I'm fine with B. Nothing will touch Hedges for international spending money.
No.
This one might be an F. The infamous we're buying in move for an outfielder. We were all waiting for one. Junshuk Shim, Garrett Forrester to the Marlins for good old BDLC, Bryan De La Cruz.
Yeah, this is an F. I mean, just an absolute disaster of a trade. You didn't give up anything for him, but like just getting him on your team made you so much worse.
Yeah, that one stunk. A lot of people compared his bat on a Savant to Edward Olivares. At the time, I was like, we got a home run guy, but then he just did not fit at PNC Park. And I think he hit 2 home runs the rest of the season, and they didn't even keep him. He could have been a Pirate right now, and he is now on his second organization since Pittsburgh. So he was probably very upset he left Miami because that was his perfect home. This one has a lot of fans up in arms. Luis Ortiz in trouble right now with gambling. Michael Kennedy, Josh Hartle to the Guardians for Spencer Horwitz, who was traded that day for Andres Jimenez. So Horwitz was on 2 teams, well, 3 teams in one day. So what do we think about the current Pirates first baseman?
Well, so far it hasn't been good. 71 weighted runs created plus, negative -0.2 WAR. So as of now, like this trade, like you gave up a lot for him too. This is a D at this point.
Yeah, I
It
think
can change, but right now this is a D.
they still have him under contract for like league minimum at least. He's going to be here for a while. Who knows? Maybe they even move on from him if their new GM comes in, which would just be crazy. It helps Luis Ortiz is in trouble and might not pitch for a while, I guess, but I'll go D as well. And I believe in Horwitz, but like it just hasn't worked out. And then we found out he has a wrist issue, and that made it even worse.
Yeah. Like I think this trade will eventually move into like C or B status, but as of now, July 20th, 2025, it's a D.
Finally, we just had this one. Adam Frazier to the Royals for Cam Devaney.
I'm going to say it's C as of now with the potential to move up or down.
Am I crazy for putting this in B? Just because they got a player for him? I wasn't expecting them to get anything out of Adam Frazier.
I could be talked into a B. They got somebody.
Do we want to go with B?
Sure. That would make 2 Adam Frazier B trades.
Hey, there's a common denominator. So looking at my list right here, the best trade of the Ben Cherington era was Austin Hedges to the Rangers for international cash. Thank you all for watching today's episode here on North Shore 9. Make sure to subscribe to the channel down below. Hit the bell for post notifications. Make sure when the guys are live and when you get more videos like this. Make sure to follow us all on all of our social medias. And make sure to, like I said, leave a like on the video as well. And leave a comment down below on your thoughts about our tier list that Jim and I made here today. And some trades that weren't on this, like a Roansy Contreras trade that didn't make the video. Or even just something like the Alexander Canario for cash considerations deal. So make sure to do everything like I said. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video, follow us on our socials, and we will see you next time. And as always, let's go Bucks.